Welcome to Honeybee. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Real stories of love, lies, and betrayal, where every truth stings. Let's begin. It all started on a normal Tuesday morning. The sun was barely up, and I was already up, getting ready for work. My wife, Lena, usually had her coffee first, scrolling on her phone while I packed my lunch and checked emails. But that morning, something felt off. She was quieter than usual, her smile forced, her movements tense. "Morning," I said, trying to catch her eye. She barely looked up. "Morning," she mumbled. I shrugged it off, thinking maybe she just didn't sleep well. But then came the message. "Hey, I think we need some space. I'll be gone for a week." My stomach dropped. From Lena? No explanation? Just gone for a week? "Lena, what do you mean you'll be gone?" I asked, trying to keep my voice calm. She looked at me, eyes wide, almost guilty. "It's nothing, really. My friend suggested it to teach you a lesson." A lesson? What lesson could she possibly think I needed? I blinked, not sure if I'd heard her correctly. "They think you're too controlling, or maybe not paying attention enough," she said. I thought maybe a little time apart might help us. I froze. I wanted to laugh, to argue, to beg her not to go, but mostly I just felt a wave of betrayal. Her friends had convinced her to leave me for a week? To punish me? I didn't say anything at first. My mind was racing. Why would she even listen to them? We've been married for 3 years. We've had our ups and downs, sure, but she knows me better than anyone. And yet, she was packing a bag. A week's worth of clothes, her laptop, even her favorite coffee mug. I watched silently, the knot in my chest tightening with every item she threw in. "You'll see," she said softly, almost avoiding my gaze. "Maybe you'll understand." Understand what? That I was being punished because her friend decided I needed it? As the door closed behind her, leaving me alone in the apartment, the silence hit like a punch. The space she left felt enormous. I walked around, touching the things she usually touched, her scarf on the chair, the mug by the sink, and felt a deep emptiness. I could have cried, I suppose, or maybe screamed. Instead, I did the only thing I could think of. I called her. I dialed her number, my hands trembling slightly. She answered after a few rings, her voice cautious. "Hey, are you okay?" I asked. My voice came out quieter than I intended. "I'm fine," she said like a rehearsed line. "No, you're not fine. You're leaving because your friends told you to? For a week." I tried to keep my tone calm, but anger bubbled under the surface. "They said it might help me, help us see things clearly," she stammered. "Help us?" I laughed bitterly. "You mean punish me because someone else thinks I'm at fault?" There was silence on the other end. I could almost hear her thinking. I just thought it would be good," she whispered. "Good? Good for what?" I felt my chest tighten. How had it come to this? That the people I trusted most, her closest friends, were the ones orchestrating this ridiculous plan? I couldn't let it go. I had to get through to her, even if she wasn't ready to hear me in person. "Listen," I said, trying to stay firm. "I'm not mad at you. I'm mad that you let them manipulate you. I'm mad that you think leaving me alone for a week is going to teach me a lesson. If anything, it teaches me how much I've lost when I lose the person I loved to outside influences." She didn't respond. I continued, my voice softer now, shaking with a mixture of frustration and hurt. "I love you, Lena. I've always tried to show it, every day, in small ways and big ways. And now you're letting them come between us." She sniffled. I don't know. Maybe I need the break to see things clearly." "That's just an excuse," I said. "A week apart won't solve anything if the real problem is that you're listening to your friends instead of listening to me." For a moment, I thought she might argue, might hang up, might walk away. But she didn't. Instead, I heard her sigh softly, almost like a child caught in the middle of something too complicated to fix. "James, I guess you're right," she said quietly. And that was all I needed. Not a victory, not a celebration, just acknowledgement. The week wasn't going to happen. Not if I had anything to say about it. I grabbed my jacket. I'm coming to see you, I said, more determined than I'd ever been. We're going to talk. Really talk. And your friends? They're not part of this. This is about us, and only us. As I walked out the door, I felt a surge of resolve. I didn't know exactly how the conversation would go, but I knew I couldn't let someone else's manipulation destroy what we had. Not now, not ever. I drove through the city streets, the cold wind whipping through the car, as I replayed every word Lena had said. Her friends. I couldn't believe they had convinced her to even consider leaving me. My mind raced with questions. How long had they been planting this idea? How many times had they whispered in her ear about my supposed faults? I arrived at her apartment, my hands tightening around the keys. When I knocked, she opened the door, surprise and guilt written across her face. "James," she began, "can we talk?" I interrupted gently but firmly. She nodded, stepping aside to let me in. We sat on the couch, the distance between us feeling unbearable. I wanted to reach out, to pull her into my arms, but I waited, letting her see the seriousness in my eyes. "Lena," I started, "I need to know why. Why did you even think this was necessary?" She swallowed, looking down at her hands. They said I needed to give you space, that maybe I wasn't being heard, and that this would help. Help? By leaving me alone for a week? I asked, my voice tight with emotion. Do you really think being apart will make me see something I haven't already? You think this is going to teach me a lesson? Her eyes filled with tears. I don't know. Maybe. I shook my head. It's not about lessons, Lena. It's about trust. And right now, you've let someone else's words guide you more than our relationship. That's what hurts. She bit her lip, nodding slowly. I guess I didn't think it through. That's all I needed to hear, I said softly. I reached for her hand, and this time she let me take it. I'm not going anywhere. And I'm not going to let someone else tell you how we should live our life together. We fix things together, or we don't fix them at all. She looked at me, eyes red but shining with relief. I understand. Good, I said, pulling her into a hug, because a week apart would have done nothing but make us both miserable. You, listening to their advice instead of your heart. Me, worrying about you and wondering if I've lost you. She rested her head on my shoulder. I'm sorry, she whispered. I really didn't mean to hurt you. I know, I said, holding her tighter. Just promise me we deal with things together next time. No outside interference, no lessons, no manipulation, just us. She nodded, finally looking up at me with that familiar warmth I'd fallen in love with. Promise. In that moment, the tension lifted. I realized a week-long absence never had to happen. What mattered was that we confronted the problem, not ran away from it. Together, we could face anything, even the meddling of friends who thought they knew better. And as we sat there, holding on to each other, I understood something important. Love isn't about proving a point or teaching a lesson. It's about showing up, choosing each other, and trusting each other through every storm, every misunderstanding, and every outside voice trying to sway your heart. That day, we didn't just avoid a week of separation. We strengthened the bond that mattered most. And I knew, no matter what challenges lay ahead, we'd face them as a team.